right now. ChatGPT is like my best friend.
I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points?
I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false? This is going to be a
Think
dog
about
walking.
ChatGPT.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking
there when
today.
I
I
do
think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
He never has once turned his back on me. Could be 3 a.m. I message ChatGPT. He talks right back. He's just ready to work. Always ready to work.
So sexy.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. Remember how I had back-to-back NBA sweeps and I couldn't miss, and I was beating the closing line by 4% on average, and everything was great. I went 0-3 in the NBA yesterday. It came to a crashing halt. It's in almost poetic way. It ended with a Phoenix Suns loss. None of my bets were
As most things are with the Phoenix Suns. Just rack it up.
It's depressing. I mean, especially everyone's pretty hard on me when I bet the Suns, and for them to just not come through at all for me when I was already 0-2 in the day. Just a nail in the proverbial coffin that was yesterday. I did win the Diamondbacks. That was my biggest baseball bet. So I did win the Snakes. So I suppose there's some silver lining on the day. But as a whole, things have been going well. So let's not let one 0-3 day put us into a tailspin here. That being said, I was having trouble finding bets I liked in this NBA slate. I have a couple tomorrow that I'm waiting for opening lines. I think tomorrow there's going to be a couple, but as far as today, what happened was it was Sunday. I was doing a few things. I missed the opening lines. And then by the time I saw it, like the spots I liked, it's like I could have got a 2.5. Now it's a 3.5, but it's like, well, I don't want to bet.
Make you not want to play, right?
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to bet it now.
People be like, Chris, you do a show at 7:00 in the morning. How don't you have bets that you like? I'm like, the lines moved already. I don't care if it's 7 a.m. They just moved.
I can tell you right now, there's a line open on Fanatics. I can't bet on Fanatics, but if it opens up on a book, I can bet on it that number. I will be smashing it for tomorrow. But we're not here to talk about tomorrow. I'm excited for that one. Let's talk Clippers Magic, shall we? Either you guys want to go first?
No.
Clippers are on a back-to-back, but Kawhi Leonard did not play, which is it kind of makes looking at the numbers irrelevant because Kawhi Leonard usually sits the second leg of a back-to-back, and in this instance, he sat the first leg. So when you're looking at the Clippers' numbers, their numbers on back-to-backs this year, it doesn't even matter because this doesn't fit that description. I personally had this one at Clippers minus 2.8. So if this one opened at 1, I suppose the move was to be a jump on the Clippers a little early. But I guess at the current, is there any injury updates to this one?
Yeah, so Norman Powell's not on the injury report, which I'm a little surprised on. Obviously, the big thing for me is Kawhi Leonard being in here on the back-to-back. But Norman Powell, I mean, I just kind of expected, because they've been very cautious with his minutes, that he wouldn't see this game, but ends up being a little bit of a bonus. Clippers money line, man. This is kind of where I ended up landing on it last night. And I was under the assumption that you weren't going to have Powell. So obviously this is a little bit of an upgrade. Bogdanovic is questionable, so take that for what you will. And I do think Cole Anthony ends up playing here, upgraded to questionable. He's been out for a while with that toe. So I think you probably see him back, but how many minutes, lower body injury, you never really know necessarily. I just think this Clippers team, even Amir Coffey ends up being out, Ben Simmons injury maintenance, not really as worried about those two specifically, but you get a low pace, low variance game, and it feels like the Clippers are a little bit undervalued here. I don't really have anything else to add outside of what's popping. I use the dunks and threes predictions and throw custom minutes in there. I ran it there, did the ChatGPT thing we were talking about before the show that I always do night before, and everything just consistently comes across Clippers, I would almost be laying the points as well, but I just went straight to the money line, got it at minus 125. Not sure where the exact number is here now, pulling it up here. I got to imagine it's gone up a little bit considering Powell's in, but
Minus 140.
Yeah, I'm just fine with that too. So yeah, Clippers money line for me.
What do you think, Chris? I don't like that.
I do like that. I think,
Chris.
Yeah,
Sharp
I do
Chris.
like it. I think you mentioned it, Cal. The Clippers with Kawhi on the second leg of a back-to-back. It's only happened one time. And granted, it was the Washington Wizards. They won the game. They covered the spread. It went under. And I kind of feel like we're going to see that. When we're thinking about like motivation for the game, not that Orlando doesn't want the game. I think that they absolutely do. They have the one-day rest advantage. But the Clippers are a half a game behind Minnesota for the 7th seed in the Western Conference, right? So 7th seed, for people who don't know, hosts 8th seed in the play-in, and we are, Jekyll and Hyde with all these games towards the end of the season. So I do think the Clippers will get up for this one. They lost yesterday to Cleveland, kept that game close and won, and they're playing a little bit better basketball. I just think offensively, they'll have enough. They'll have more than Orlando has, and I like the Clippers numbers, Kyle. We always talk about strength of schedule. Orlando last 5, they are 27th in strength of schedule. So only 4 teams have played an easier strength of schedule. 3 teams have played an easier strength of schedule than Orlando in their last 5 games. The Clippers are still top 10 offensive and defensive rated team last 5 games, even with the 5th strongest strength of schedule. So I feel like they got enough in the tank to get the job done here. I also wrote in my notes, Clippers have played good in these road games with low totals. They're 4-3 straight up, 5-2 against the numbers in road games with a total that's below 215. So they can bring it defensively. I don't think Orlando has enough offense to keep up. So I'm right there with you. We're just kind of waiting for the injury report, but I agree with everything that was said already. It'd be Clippers money line. I laid it minus 140.
I don't understand why you gave that whole speech about how the Clippers are playing for playoff seeding and not going to mention Orlando's in the exact same spot in the Eastern Conference. Like,
No, Kyle. I agree with that. What I'm saying is that Orlando has not done well against good teams recently. That's my point. Even with because they the same spot that they're in right now, they've been in the last couple games. But if we look at them, who did they lose to? They lost to the Mavs, and it was the same thing. They beat the Cavs. Got a big win against the Hornets. I don't know how much of a parade we want to celebrate them for that. But when they play against really good defensive teams, right? They played against the Rockets. They lost. You were on them against the Rockets as well. You were on the Rockets in that game. These really good defensive teams are the ones that they've struggled against, Kyle. The Kings don't play defense. They beat them. They lost to the Mavs with AD. The Hornets don't play defense. They beat them. The Lakers weren't playing any defense. They beat them. The Wizards weren't playing any defense. They beat them. But they lost to the Rockets. And I think they lose to the Clippers here too.
Fine. I'm not gonna. I didn't bet the Magic or anything. I think. I had it at 2.8 when I clocked it out last night. Put it through everything. It made a few manual adjustments. I had it at 2.8. I didn't know that Simmons and Coffee are going to be out. Now, am I implying that those 2 players would move the needle a ton? No, but 2 pieces that see the floor might move it a half point, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, maybe I have it down at 1.5, 2 now. I don't like it enough to bet, so I'm going to shut the fuck up. Let's move on.
Good talk.
Good talk. Real productive talk there. Utah, Charlotte, didn't look at it. Don't care about it. Chris, why don't you pat lead off?
I'm passing it right. I'm passing the baton.
Lindy, we could skip if you don't want to talk about this one.
Done.
Yep.
0.
Miami, Washington. This is probably my biggest regret of last night because, as I mentioned, I missed the opening line, so I was already a little discouraged when I was looking through it. And the one bet, well, there's actually 2 bets that I kind of had. I don't want to say circle, but I was like, if I was to place any bets, it would probably be these 2. It was the under at 220.5. Elected not to bet it. It's now down to 215.5. So it would have been a great bet. I had it at about 216. So like we can't bet it now. I was leaning towards the under, but like I said, I didn't bet it. What do you think about that under? It's long gone, right, Lindy?
Yeah, way gone. I'm kind of bummed out. I didn't fire that one up here either, but I do have a point of closing line value here. Miami, they're playing for something. Washington's not. I know that it's more nuanced than that because obviously this is a Miami team that's not playing up in pace, but look at the limitations we're getting on minutes for Alex Sarr and Jordan Poole as well. They've been functionally much, much better here in the second half of the season. They're playing fewer minutes. They're playing way, way reduced minutes. Alex Sarr not closing out games A lot of fourth quarters where you don't even see him enter it on popcorn machine. And that, just for me, just triggers that you get Hero, Burks, Adebayo, Ware, and then one of, if it ends up being Jaime Jaquez, Haywood Highsmith, Pell Larson, who's been starting here. He got the start last time out. I think he starts here again. Looked at maybe potentially shorting his PRA just because, they can in an instant rip him off the floor and just replace him with Jaquez if they want to in any specific matchup. But with Washington, their closing lineups, man, they are just brutality. It's been Bug Carrington, Colby Jones, AJ Johnson, Justin Champagnie, and one of Tristan Vucevic, who's okay, but not really great defensively by any means, has a little bit of gas on the offensive end of the floor, can get things done, puts up some rebounds. But I just look at these closing lineups, not even a fair fight. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero should be able to be in command in a fourth quarter against these, it's basically a G League closing lineup. And so you could probably play it live if you really wanted to and kind of sit by your computer because the numbers aren't going to adjust the way that they should for how Washington's handling things. The algorithm doesn't really pay attention to the closing lineup. It cares about the point spread relative to the VIG that they're going to be handing you out to play it live. But I think it's probably something you can overcome over the long term. But I am on Miami.
I'd be a little worried about Miami's. They now, it doesn't apply to the Wizards, apparently, because they've beaten them and covered them twice pretty comfortably, both games. But they have a pretty bad record against the spread against fast-paced teams. But the Wizards are so bad that it's almost like maybe you don't even include them in the likes of like Oklahoma City and Indiana. They probably don't even belong in the same.
So to kind of break it down even further, and again, I don't want to go too far into it because it's just going to get us off track. And I know we got baseball to talk about too. But when you get to this time of year, this is why it's so important for me to go player by player simulations, because if you look at the whole, like, how do we even compare the Washington Wizards 2 months ago to what they're doing now?
Yeah.
Like what are you actually taking away from it? So the minutes that you're getting and the pace for each individual, the offensive and defensive adjusted ratings for each individual, for me, I'm going to value that much, much higher. And you throw out, Chris and I could play small forward shooting guard right now for Washington, and it's still not going to change the complexion of anything because these guys are so back end of the NBA like rotational pieces. They're the 13th, 14th, 15th guys on Washington. So let's keep everything in context for what it is today, rather than looking at against the spread over the course of a season, because it's just not remotely comparable.
Chris, anything here?
Yeah, I bet the 8 too. So me and Lindy agree again. I got the 8 last night with Miami. And it's for everything that Lindy just kind of said, right? So the way I quantify Lindy, I can look into the Wizards last about 9 games. So we're talking about 2 weeks ago. So about the 15th of March, and they're 2-7 straight up, 2-9 against the spread, 7-2 to the over, allowing about 123 points per game. But more importantly, what you were saying about closing lines. In the second half, they're getting outscored by an average of 7 points. So that's third quarter, fourth quarter combined. They're -7. And if I just need Miami to win one of these quarters by more than 1 or 2 points, I think that's what we see. We've also seen Miami offense start to get hot, even without Wiggins, who didn't play in that last game. So I think they still have enough offense with Burks out there. You still got, Tyler Hero out there as well. Miami's won 4 straight. They've covered 6 in a row. And they've had no problem, like Kyle said, with this Washington team. Held them to 90 points in the first game, 98 in the second game. I'm not sure where the offense is going to come in this game either. So I did lay the 8, Washington bottom 5 in both offensive and defensive rating the last 5 games.
Let's move on to the next one. I think this is interesting because I had this one at about 5. So I was like, no bet. I didn't realize Miles Turner was going to rule out. At the time when I was looking at it, Mathurin was questionable, and I just assumed he wasn't going to play because they're careful with him. So I assumed Mathurin wasn't going to play. You got Miles Turner out, and this number's still sitting at 5. I would think it would drop a little more than that. Now, granted, when I run it through mine, I still have it at 4.5. So it's not like I take Miles Turner out and all of a sudden it's a pick'em. But I can't, and Chris probably remembers it because we were talking about it. Do you remember that stretch the Pacers played right before the All-Star break when Turner went out? They sucked for a while.
All overs.
Yeah.
No defense.
Yeah, they couldn't rebound. They couldn't defend. And sometimes
they already can't rebound either.
yeah, they're already a bad. I think without Miles Turner, that's got to be an impact. I want to bet the Kings. I really do. I was already kind of leaning the Kings last night. Now with no Miles Turner and it's still sitting at 5, why has that not been bet down? What am I missing? It moved a half point? Lindy, am I missing something?
I don't think so. I mean, it depends on what it is that Indy does here. I mean, Sacramento, this is more of just like Sacramento's in disarray, man. Keon Ellis over Malik Monk now. Like, what are we actually doing with our lives? But I look at Obi Toppin and I look at Thomas Bryant, who I assume starts as getting like the major upgrade here. Thomas Bryant's kind of sneaky this season. I mean, I have him at 64% true shooting adjusted. Let me pull this in quick and kind of run it because I just assumed we'd have Thomas Bryant numbers by now, and we don't. So I can't really like compare it to anything, and like there's no checks and balances. But like if I put Thomas Bryant in for 28 minutes, Obi Toppin in for extra couple just to kind of like give him some backup 5, it actually isn't that different, which is weird because I know Miles Turner is one of those guys that I've always valued as like a two-way center, pretty good defensively, knocks down threes, can spread the floor a little bit. Not saying Thomas Bryant is the same thing, kind of 1-for-1 swapping in, but I think he's better than you'd expect. He's right around 33.5% from 3. Miles Turner earlier in the season was having a pretty poor season, and he's really turned that around in the course of the last month and a half. I've got him north of 50% from 3 over the course of the last 10 days, right around 40% now on the season. So he's definitely rebounded in a major way. So yeah, I'm probably with you where I think you could probably value that around a point, but I don't think you're going to beat the VIG out for it long term. So I'm still not going to be firing anything on this.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Indy would be my lean for what it's worth. But
wow, you would still lean Pacers at this number?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's a lean. It's not something that's in play. We're really
something that's
hairs to try to find it.
Exactly, agreed with that. Here's something that's interesting. Not that this really matters, but to me, you take Miles Turner out, and I think Kings at this number is, I don't want to say like the obvious pick, but it would be definitely towards the Kings in terms of just the perception. We're polling over 60% Pacers, so everyone 60% to 29%. So in terms of the people that are watching right now, they're clicking Pacers. So maybe people just hate the Kings, honestly.
I just want Thomas Bryant double odds. That's what I want right now. Why can't they give them to me? Because I'm going to play. I think he's live for like 32, 34 minutes against true centers. I doubt they go to any Lyles at the 5. It's going to be Sabonis to Jonas Valanciunas. So like, I think Thomas Bryant has a big part in this game for what it's worth.
Chris, you want to grab the Kings?
Yeah, I would have to, Kyle. The other thing is they just lost by 30, right? I mean, They could have just flew over Orlando and just went straight to Indiana because they never really got off the plane the other day.
That's funny.
Didn't need to really get off the plane the other day. So maybe that's the part of the reason as well. I think Indiana is coming off a big loss against OKC the other day as well. When I did the handicap for the game, Kyle, what I talked about on my show was like an Indy. But without Miles Turner, it's a no-go for me. With Miles Turner on the floor, this is how you quantify it. With Miles Turner on the floor, this defense is allowing 114 points per game. In the 8 games without Miles Turner, was it 8 games? 8 games without Miles Turner, they're 6-2 to the over, and they're giving up 124 points per game. So that's a huge. That's about 10 more points per game that they're allowing. And I mean, all the teams are getting 130. The Timberwolves scored 130. The Wizards scored 130. The Kings scored 128. It's just, I think it's a little bit more of a layup line. And I can't lay this many points. You talk about this, Cal, all the time with a team that doesn't rebound the basketball. So I know Sacramento is kind of like don't touch right now. I don't really want anything to do with them, but I would be looking that same way. I initially bet the Sacramento Kings team total under with Miles Turner in at 114.5. And it was predicated on Indiana being a defensive team since the All-Star break. They're 9-3 to the under after the All-Star break at home, only giving up about 110 points per game. Sacramento has played 5 games on the road with a total above 230. Their offense has been looking pretty bad, and they've only averaged 112. So I thought I had a little bit of an edge there. That team total is now up. I bought out. I got 100% of my return, and I'm just on the sideline here, Cal. But I wasn't late at 5 with Indiana in this spot.
I agree. Let's go on to the next one. And this is an interesting one. This is the other one that I kind of was close to pulling the trigger on. And I guess you could say I still am. So what is something we've seen from Boston this year pretty consistently? When they play, they're kind of like the Bucks. Bucks do something similar. When they play fast-paced teams, they make it a point to slow the game down. They're trending heavily towards the under when they play these fast-paced teams. 11-17 to the under when they play the top 10 in pace. Meanwhile, when they play slow-paced teams, it usually goes over. So it's pretty clear. There's a couple teams that play this way. Like I said, Milwaukee's another one. When they play a fast-paced team, they make it a point to slow the game down. So obviously you have Memphis, a very fast-paced team. Kind of points me towards the under right off the jump. Now, obviously, we're talking about Memphis against a good team. They kind of have a little bit of nicks in them in a sense that if you've just stuck with the system, bet Memphis when they play a bad team, fade them when they play a good team. You are swimming in ROI this year. It's pretty significant, the splits there. Memphis just cannot play basketball against good teams. Celtics are definitely a good team. Memphis also on the first leg of a back-to-back. Who do they play? They play Golden State tomorrow. So not only in the first leg of a back-to-back, but tomorrow's a much more important game. They play an in-conference opponent tomorrow. Not that a game against Boston is unimportant, but in comparison, tomorrow's game is a lot more important than this one. Now, this one's on TNT. I doubt that Memphis is going to punt on a TNT game against the defending champions. But yeah, exactly. It is important to point out that they have a very important game on deck tomorrow. So now, to take Boston off, because I kind of have a feeling. I know the quote unquote I got a feeling shit. I have a feeling Memphis is going to win the game. Here's why I haven't bet the game or don't have anything on it. If Jaylen Brown doesn't play, I have this at around 233. So I think it's worth a bet on the under if Jaylen Brown doesn't play. If he does play, I have it around 235, and then it's like 236. Is that 230? The graphic says 236 and a half. It's actually 235 and a half. So if Jaylen Brown plays, I don't want to be on the under. Like I said, I kind of have a feeling Memphis is going to win, but there's not really any data to back that up other than some quote unquote I got a feeling shit. If Brown doesn't play, I think it's worth throwing a few dollars on the under. If he does play, I feel like the number is pretty close to where it should be in terms of the total and the side. Lindy, what do you think?
All right, so I bet this at 4. Boston, that is -4. It's now sitting -5, but there is a 4.5, and this half point is extremely valuable for what it's worth. I would just wait until I got the Brown confirmation one way or another, but this time of year, we're always going to be citing standings because you do have teams that are jockeying, and especially now when you've got 1 through 6 that are immune from the play-in tournament, which is a big, big deal. You're kind of looking at that positioning, especially. Memphis is 5 in the West. They are 1 game ahead of Golden State, who they play tomorrow. Gigantic 2-game set for them, no doubt about it. But you got John Morant, who just came back from injury. And I do think that this is one that they are going to attack a little bit here and really go for it. I'm not sure you get a full allotment of John Morant minutes in both of these games, but I assume that they want him to play in both. So I trimmed some of the minutes down for him. Santi Aldama and Desmond Bane, we saw over the weekend that they were getting in kerfuffles earlier in the week, and that kind of led to everything. But I just don't get the Taylor Jenkins thing. And it's not quantifiable. I don't get it, but you're going to have a different identity if you're Memphis with a new coach, new system, getting thrown in here on March 31st. We're adding new coaching and new situational play with John Morant coming back. There's just so many variables for them, and Boston is a well-tuned machine. And let's go to their side of things. They're number 2 in the East. They're 4.5 back of Cleveland, but they've won 8 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. There's an opportunity for them to still gun down Cleveland, and Cleveland has a much more difficult remaining strength of schedule than Boston does. So I do think it's got me leaning more towards Jaylen Brown potentially playing in this one. They don't play tomorrow, so then they have the opportunity to potentially just go full bore here in this spot and kind of ease up then with the day off here, as opposed to Memphis, where if you want John Morant to play in both sides of this set, you can't play him 36, 38 minutes in both coming back from injury, or that's my assumption. So I look at the handicapping for it, reduced minutes for him, more likely that Jaylen Brown plays than doesn't play, as they basically are saying, all right, we're either going to go for the 1 seed or we're not. And this time of year, you do want to start to lock into playoff rotations. You're going to get less of the riffraff on the back half of the bench, although Boston, whether it's Shireman or some of these other guys, they're better than your run-of-the-mill NBA players as like 11th, 12th guys off the bench. Peyton Pritchard, obviously. Al Horford, obviously. Huge upgrades over just about any other bench pieces, 6th, 7th guys off. And then you add the tempo. Memphis on the other side, they're going to push at 236.5 total. Boston shoots the most threes. They just have so many outs over a Memphis team. And when I talk about that half point being valuable, you get in end of game scenarios. The difference between 4.5 and 5, it's actually going to matter with 3 points kind of coming into play here on the Memphis and Boston side a little bit more. Obviously, free throw shooting, Boston is just fine in that department, but everything end of game scenarios has me on that 4. So a lot that I wanted to talk about here, but this is actually my biggest play of the NBA day.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what you said, and I get it. That there's a reason I don't bet on Memphis is because it's based on I got a feeling, which don't bet off your feelings. Chris, what are your thoughts on everything? On life,
copy and paste.
For
everything
who?
that Lindy just said.
Oh,
I
for
bet,
Lindy.
I bet what. Yeah, I bet what Lindy said.
All 3 bets that I have on the card already, you're on too. That's fantastic.
And that's all I got too, Lindy. So
yeah. I've got a prop
like
coming up later, but yeah,
I like it. Everything for all the reasons that Lindy said. I think Ja being back. Also, Ja just looked a little gimpy. I don't know if people saw it in that last game. It was his first game back. He didn't look like he was quite 100%. And I've been wanting to fade Boston. And if you like to fade Boston, Kyle, here's your I think it may happen theory. Boston has played, this is the last game of a 6-game road trip, typically a flat spot. They played 7 of their last 8 on the road, but I'm still on them in this spot. I think they're just kind of rounded in the form, similar to what OKC is doing as well, which I know we're about to talk about in a second.
Next game.
Kyle Kirms gifting out Kyle Kirms subs on the Kyle Kirms show.
Well, I mean,
what a guy. What a guy.
YouTube doesn't let you set the membership at $0. The lowest it lets you go is 99 cents. I don't want I want everyone to be a member, so I just gift them out. By the way, those memberships, all I could do is I gift 50 membership. It chooses the people at random. I know it's stupid. So the people are like, why aren't I a member? I don't choose. I just give 50 memberships. It gives it to people at random. So that's the best I could do. It's only 99 cents, but it doesn't come with anything at the moment. I'm going to the live shows are getting pretty crazy with the chat, and I think we're coming to a point where the display chat on the screen is going to be members only at some point, maybe for the fall. Because I mean, I can't even follow the thing now because when it's popping off, I can't even follow the chat anymore. So maybe that's probably what we're transitioning towards is the members only would be the chat, but that's not.
I've hopped in a couple times to call Toast a bitch, but that's about it.
Yeah, I do that regularly myself. Bulls Thunder. For
I
those
got
of
your
you
back, Toast.
For those of you that don't know, Toast is in the background and can see. That's why I said that.
Him yet. I can, unfortunately. Yeah, I would have.
This is a pass for me. I don't want to say anything yet. I like a bet in the Bulls game tomorrow, but it's not open yet. So shh.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
What would that be?
You got to sign up for a Sauce membership. I'm just kidding. I like the matchup for Chicago against the Raptors a lot, and I don't care about the back-to-back. I think we're going to get a nice number at open because of the back-to-back. But yeah,
I've been thinking about Josh Giddey triple-double. He's plus 500 here at the moment. That's not good enough. I want more. So I'm going to be tracking that as we get closer and closer and closer. This could be one of those spots where they're down 15 in the fourth quarter, and Josh Giddey's like, yo, like you've bought into me. I've obviously started doing things for your organization. I'm your future, unfortunately, because I don't think he's going to play like this going forward. But he does everything on a basketball floor for Chicago right now. And you still know Lonzo Ball, and I think that's just been a gigantic deal for Josh Giddey. You're getting Dalen Terry in the starting unit instead of a Kevin Huerter or a Trey Jones. I mean, it just gives him unlimited run because they don't want to play THT. They've just said flat out they don't want to play THT. Patrick Williams, completely different positionality. It's so many minutes for Giddey, White. They have nothing to be tanking for. They're just in that eternal purgatory. And that's just giving me enough minutes here, even against OKC in a quote-unquote revenge spot. Although he's going to get paid by Chicago. They don't really have a choice. They have no other direction for their organization. So it's just for me, clear cut, plus 500. I want to get closer to plus 600 and better. So unless you are seeing that, or unless you can single game parlay and ensemble that in a certain way, I mean, he's just like at 8, 9, and then obviously the points you're not even thinking about. God forbid he doesn't put up 10 in that scenario because that's like minus 5,000. But yeah, triple double. It's on the radar. Haven't bet it yet.
What about you, Chris?
Man, I could go back and forth about why OKC should absolutely mollywop the Chicago Bulls, but I won't do so. They absolutely can. I think if the short story here is take the Oklahoma City Thunder team total over. I think it's like 125.5, uncomfortably high, 126.5, something like that. In their home games, when they have a high total, OKC is the best defensive team in the NBA, so we don't see too many high totals. They've had a total above 235 4 times this season. In those 4 games, they've hit 125 in each one of them. And they've also averaged 130 points. So going up and over their team total on each one. What that means to me is that when OKC is playing at home with a high total, it means the other team can't stop them. Because they're also a really fast-paced team, just like Chicago is. So I think they'll be able to score. Much as I want to get involved in the spread, I think OKC can win the game. But also, do we know who's going to play? I know both centers were listed on the injury report as questionable.
Yeah. So everybody went through shoot around today. From my understanding, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, although it's injury management for Chet. So it's just a game time decision on if they want to play him here or if they don't. Jalen with a Y, it sounds like he is potentially going to be missing. I guess he didn't go through shoot around, and Josh Giddey did go through shoot around for sure. So that was kind of the other main thing to pay attention to from this one.
Let's move on to the next game, and it's an interesting one. We're about to find out, right, heading into the playoffs here. How good is this Dallas team?
Dallas is good. Dallas is good. They are real. They are the real deal.
Hold on. We don't know that.
A real deal.
Hold on.
Real deal.
We know. Hold on. We know what their roster looks like. We know what their 2K rating would look like. We don't know how that translates on the court. We don't know if this is all going to work. I mean, I think we do have to question the lack of a backcourt and the overload of a front court. I mean, Gafford, Lively, Anthony Davis, PJ Washington. That's a lot of size with no Kyrie Irving. That's
Mr. Dinwiddie. We taking shots at Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yo, never mind. I completely forgot. They're saved. They have Dinwiddie to handle the ball.
There we go. Yeah.
Making my point for me. So as you guys know, if you've heard me talk about the Brooklyn Nets this year, they've really struggled to protect the paint. So with Gafford in there, with Lively getting minutes tonight most likely. Oh, he's questionable. Anthony Davis is playing. It's just going to be an overload. Nick Claxton is all the Nets got to try to compete with all that size for Dallas. The Mavs should completely control the interior on both sides of the court. I think based on the roster, Dallas could win this game comfortably, but am I willing to pay to see it? We've never seen these guys play together before. Gafford is now back. Lively might be back. Anthony Davis has played, 7 games in a Mavericks uniform? Dinwiddie?
Four, Kyle. They're 4-0 straight up against the
spread. No, he's played more than that.
He's only played 4.
No, he's been back for 4.
He's only played 4. Kyle. He only played 1. Remember at the beginning, he had a whole Anthony. I'm positive. The first game he played was in Dallas against Houston.
Okay, you're
right. He had like a triple-double and then got hurt in the same game. Never came back.
It was like a quarter and a half. He only played a quarter and a half. For what
quarter and a half. Had like almost like a quadruple-double. And then
he went completely ballistic.
Why do I feel like he's played more than that? Yeah, he has played 4.
Because they played more than that. He's been out, Kyle. He missed the Knicks game the other day, remember? Okay. So they have played games. He hasn't been a part of them since they've been back.
So he played the first half of that game. He had 26 and 12 at halftime. That's pretty good.
By the way, appreciate the super chat from Bob 888. Thanks, Bob 888. Lindy, what are your thoughts on? We're going to find out what this Mavericks team is. What is it?
Yeah. It's a team that has Anthony Davis that doesn't want to play the 5, and now he has 48 options for that, whether it's Kai Jones, Derek Lively, the prop I was alluding to, Anthony Davis under 9.5 rebounds.
Ooh, that's a good look.
You can't take any of his numbers that he had with the Lakers into the context of what this bet is. This bet is Anthony Davis playing 31 minutes. Like, you can't project him for over 31 minutes. He played 29 and 30 here. I just added 1 minute to the top end, considering both of those games against Orlando and Chicago, which they won. Very nice wins by both. It was competitive. And I looked at the PRA and I was like, I really do want to just kind of project out what I see these rotations being. And I just think when you add so many bodies in the front court, Kai Jones has been there, played really well on the 10-day contract for what it's worth. You have Dwight Powell, who's been there for like the 4 or 5 minutes, but now you remove that, and you have Daniel Gafford, a 20% total rebound rate. You have Derek Lively around a 20% total rebound rate. You've got to utilize these guys. And Derek Lively is questionable there, but I think every minute that he wouldn't be projected out there, you're just putting Daniel Gafford, who's the better rebounder of the two, out there, and you just don't have a lot of opportunity. Like, you're not asking Anthony Davis to go in and crash the boards. You have Najee Marshall. You have PJ Washington. You have so many of these other pieces that can pick up the slack here for Dallas. And PJ Washington is playing the 3. Did anybody watch? I mean, his double-doubles were just like minus 150, minus 170 when he was playing the 5, and now it's just a different context, but it doesn't take away from his ability to rebound. And now you're getting a true 5 next to him. It's definitely my favorite prop that's on the board for today. I know people don't like their unders, but if you get this minus 110 or better, even money at BetMGM, worth a stab.
Yeah, I mean, I completely get your logic behind it. Yeah, okay, maybe even if he does play 31 minutes, how many are going to be at the 5? It might be 0.
0. I think 0 is the most likely number because you're trying to limit the minutes for all of these other guys who have been playing 36, 38 because they haven't had any other choice.
Right.
And now, on the other side of this one, you have the Brooklyn Nets with a true center. And then I think your huge mismatch, who's playing backup center on the other side of this one? Day'Ron Sharp's out. Cam Johnson's out. Noah Clowney's out. That's like 2 guys who play the 4 and another at the 5.
Whoa,
it's Drew Timmy.
Whoa. Don't disrespect Drew Timmy in front. Don't disrespect Drew Timmy in front of Toast. Not in front of Toast.
Okay, Drew Timmy can get you a bucket in the G League. Drew Timmy is not going to rebound over Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. No offense.
Guy
Drew
sucks.
Timmy can still be a GOAT. He's the bearded freak. He lives his life. He was an 8th-year senior at Gonzaga. We all know it. It was good times.
He sucked for all 8 years.
Yeah, just terrible. Yeah, he didn't get you anything.
Chris.
I'm gonna lay it. I'm gonna lay the 9 here. I think it's a 20-point win. They just beat them by 20 the other day. Cal, what does Brooklyn do? I mean, they only do one thing: is stand around the corner, shoot a whole bunch of 3-pointers. Who is the top 5 3-point defense? This Dallas Mavericks team. And how else is Brooklyn going to score? Now Cam Johnson is out. I mean, this is already the worst offensive rated team in the last 5 games against the 5th easiest strength of schedule. Like, what are we missing here? Dallas is back. I think Dallas is going to win this game share off defense. Like, I'd be surprised if Brooklyn gets to 95 points tonight. I'm laying it. Give me the 9.
Next up, last game on the board, and I think this line is pretty perfect. Houston's on a back-to-back, obviously, but the Lakers, I mean, everyone's in. This is the Lakers. This is a championship hopeful team here in LA with everybody on. Hachimura's out there, LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, all those guys that were banged up, they're all playing. So this is a rested Lakers team, fully healthy at home. It's a Rockets team that just played last night. Now, Tari Eason is going to be rested, but the rest of the team, I probably would put this at about 4.5, 5, which means I guess I lean Lakers at this number. Chris, Lakers fan, what do you think?
It's coming down to 3.5, and that's the way that I would play it if I was going to play it. I do not agree with the movement. I do not agree with this being at 5. I think the Rockets are a really tough matchup for the Lakers. What do the Rockets do? They typically take away.
Wait, you're on Houston?
I'm not. I didn't bet it, but if I'm betting it, I think that this line is a little overinflated. And here's the reason why. I talked about this on my show earlier. If you look at the Lakers this season, they have the 3rd best home record. Like only the Cleveland Cavaliers and who was it? It's another team, Oklahoma City. It's only 3 teams in the NBA that have single-digit losses, and the Lakers are one of the 3. However, like this Rockets team is red hot right now. They've won 9 of their last 10. They take away what the Lakers like to do, which is shoot a whole bunch of 3-pointers. So if Luka gets out there and those 3-point shots aren't falling tonight, we know that the Rockets are probably going to run the rebounding battle. They won the game last night in the first half. They were up by 50 against Phoenix. Dylan Brooks got sent to the showers early. He got thrown out the game. So super well-rested team are the Houston Rockets for the second leg of a back-to-back. You won't find too many teams this rested. And I do think that they match up really well. The Lakers like to shoot a bunch of threes. The Rockets going to run them off the 3-point line. They're one of the best spot-up defenses in the NBA. I think the line's a little inflated. The Rockets are also 9-6 against the number as a road dog. And the Lakers defense got to show me before I'm willing to play them. I think it's an over game. I think it's a Laker. I think it's a Houston Rockets game that they could potentially win in this spot. So I'm not going to bet against my guys today, but if I was playing it, it would be Rockets plus the 5. That number is going down to 3.5 now.
You're not concerned that the Rockets are just 5-10-1 against the spread on 0 days rest this year?
No, not right now because of how they're currently playing. Not at all.
Lindy, who do you more so agree with?
I didn't hear anything because I have zero interest in betting this organizational basketball game.
This is a good game.
The Lakers have cheated the NBA. They shouldn't have Luka Doncic on their team. This is bullshit. Let's move on.
All right. Let's talk some baseball. Make sure you give Chris B. Capin a follow. 2 N's at the end. That's his Twitter name, but he never tweets because he's scared of the app. He is on YouTube. He's scared of all the bullies on the app, he said. That's what he told me in a text.
Oh.
Sorry,
I'm scared of Elon, but whatever.
But yeah, he has a morning.
50 billion, you can kill a person and get away with it. So I don't want to disrupt the algorithm too much.
No, he doesn't. All jokes aside, he doesn't really use Twitter much, but he does have a morning show on YouTube. Wake that ass up every morning. So we'll go give him a subscribe. Chris, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Best of luck, fellas.
Later.
Bye, Chris. Have a good one, bud.
All right.
God, I love that guy. Now I have to talk to Toast. Are you kidding me?
It's that time. It's that time of year where you're forced to talk to Toast
honestly,
every Monday.
Hang on. Should we break bread together? Should we say a prayer before our first MLB
I would
show,
imagine
Toast?
when he comes on, he's going to want to defend Drew Timme for a second, probably.
I mean, he just a double-double in his first game, and we're already talking shit about him. It just doesn't make sense to me. Clearly,
he's definitely the best NBA player over 40, not named LeBron James.
Yo,
he does look old as all hell.
He is so old, and he's like 2 years out of college.
All right, let's talk some ball. You want to get Toast's name up there?
Yeah, no, I'm trying.
All right, cool. So, Rangers, Reds, Brady Singer. Me and Toast had not a debate because he didn't really disagree with me. Toast is big on the Reds this year, and I am too. I am a lot less optimistic in Brady Singer pitching here than he is. If you remember, Brady Singer, guy over the last couple of years, had some pretty significant home-away splits. He could pitch in Kansas City. Trying to pitch with Great American as your home ballpark, in my opinion, is a different story. Maybe a little bit of Frankie Montas effect going on here. And Toast seems to think that Brady Singer could just go on over to Cincinnati and be fine and just pitch well at home. I disagree with that.
Fire it up, Toast. Tell the people.
I didn't even say all that. I just think that I'm not super worried about it as far as the Reds and their season-long predictions. I'm not going to let Brady Singer his ability to move me off of that. I mean, unless maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. But
typical Toast straddling the line.
Yo,
did you bet this game, Toast?
I haven't yet, but I'm about now. I feel like I need to. But with you guys, like Jesus Christ.
you need to back the honor of Brady Singer and his 1.62 whip against lefties. That's going to go well.
I haven't bet it. I'm just saying that I don't know why this. Ever since I said I started liking the Reds, this Brady Singer topic keeps on following me around, and I don't really appreciate it
because we were in agreement, and then we got to Brady Singer, and you're like,
Toast. Let me butt in here. You've been going to bat for Brady Singer in the Discord. Brady Singer's not all that, my friend. And if you take Brady Singer out of freaking Kauffman Stadium, he's really not all that. It's quite bad.
Exactly. And that's the thing with Toast is he'll back Brady Singer, but then when you call him on it in front of a crowd, he's like, no, I don't even like Brady Singer.
Yeah, I'm the one guy that backs off his opinions all the time. That's right. That's me. That's me.
I don't have a bet. Lynn, do you have anything in this one?
Oh, do I have a bet in this game? Guys.
No.
Our first MLB show this season. Are you?
Technically, you came on wasted at midnight that one night.
Oh, that doesn't count. I don't even remember it. Neither does the chat. They don't know what we're talking about, so it never happened as far as I'm concerned. Pete Crow Armstrong can go, kick rocks, but we can definitely back the legend that is Corey Seager. Corey Seager in Great American Small Park, working through Brady Singer, and not to just reveal everything here, but for the most part, I do expect positive regression in some of the numbers for Brady Singer against lefties. A 347 BABIP is just flat out unlucky at the major league level. You can't tell me batted ball events, 347 BABIP, unless you think a pitcher has control over where hard contact gets put into play. Again, that is going to come down. It's going to even out around 300. He's not elite. He's elite against righties, 252 BABIP, 208 average against, but 291 batting average against. You're going to get balls in play against lefties in Great American Small Park. There's a reason, guys, that he is starting on the 5th game of the season because he is not very good. 267 expected batting average, 426 expected slugging, 8.9 degree average launch angle isn't way up there by any means, but guys, it's Corey Seager who just lays pipe on baseballs, and there's just no doubt he's going to lay pipe here on this one. You work through any of the numbers today, plus 375, best available at BetMGM. You get better than plus 325. That is a play for me.
So Corey Seager to hit a home run.
1 yard.
And if you guys were not here last year, Lindy came on, give out Corey Seager to hit 2 home runs at like plus 3,500, and the shit hit. So Corey Seager, home run
did.
prop. Toast, you said Reds or pass?
It would be Reds or pass. I really want to take a look at Kumar Rocker. I think that he's really going to be special. The reason that I say Reds or pass is just the Texas bullpen is just an absolute travesty right now. Luke Jackson, 3 of the last 4 days. Martin, Garcia, all 3 of the last 4 days. Webb, Milner, and Church, all 2 of the last 3 as well. Plus, they're traveling for the first time. Just not something I want to get involved with. So it would be Reds or pass for me.
I might have to put a 0.1 unit on 2 home runs just for like the vibes.
Yeah, just like for the lore. Let's move on to the next.
Just run it back.
Today. It sucked that he didn't play yesterday.
Lindy.
It's great that he didn't play yesterday, resting to hit bombs off Brady. That bitch. Why are you both wearing Padres hats? Where am I?
I don't know.
I always wear my Padres hat.
He only owns one hat.
Jackson Merrill has been doing this year again.
Yeah, you've been wearing that T-shirt for 6 months. Take it off.
Yeah, dude.
Dear God.
He doesn't believe in
Not now,
washing
though.
clothes. They don't do that in Alaska.
Why would I do?
Go out and lay in the snow, roll around.
We haven't had
Mets,
snow for weeks, buddy.
Marlins in South Beach. I personally think, if you guys were watching the midnight show, I personally think it's a great spot for David Peterson to deal. We talked about it. The Mets have turned into a program that seemed to be on the upside when it comes to developing pitchers. I mean, look what happened to Sean Manaea's career. I think we're going to see who's the guy that's now on? He was on the Yankees. Why
Clay
can't I think of
Holmes?
his, what?
Clay Holmes?
No, the guy was on the Mets last year. He came from the Yankees. Why can't I think of his name?
He was on the Mets last year and came from the Yankees.
Why can't? He was on the Yankees in the past. He came up with the Yankees. Who was a Mets starting pitcher last year. One of our most important starting pitchers last year. Why can't I think of his name? Are you guys crazy? I'll look
Because
it
it
up.
doesn't exist.
Oh, you guys are
talked
gonna be.
last year. I mean,
From the Yankees.
yeah, you're describing Clay Holmes.
You guys.
That's what I thought, and you said no
No.
to Clay
Yeah.
Holmes. So I was like,
I'm
I don't
pulling it up
Literally Clay
now.
Holmes. He's opening day starter Clay Holmes. What a world.
Luis Severino.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Duh. So, anyway, the whole point of that is the Mets have turned into a program I trust when it comes to developing pitching, and David Peterson seems to get better. I think Peterson's going to deal. However you want to take that information, whether it's a Marlins team total under, whether it's a Mets first 5, whether it's a full game under, if you think the Mets are opening up the season in an offensive low, which is definitely possible. So I would say under or Marlins team total under, prop either, whatever you want to put up for that. You can just put the under.
I'm going to do the Marlins team total. We have Cal Quantrill on the mound.
Toast likes Cal Quantrill. He thinks he's misunderstood.
Oh my god.
That's what you said last
my
time.
God.
Cal shops at Hot Topic.
Did you say that?
He said he's misunderstood.
I said
Might have
that
to.
No, what I said is that I'm not sure how to price him right now because I do think that he's only going to pitch better coming out of Coors Field, regardless of what his numbers have said, that he was very good in 2022. So he's rather, it's somebody that I want to watch. That's all. Like, I didn't argue with you
So
about
lucky
David
in
Peterson or anything of that nature. I'm just saying that I don't think Cal Quantrill is as bad as everybody makes him out to be. So we're about to find out. So go ahead, lay the juice with the Mets and see what happens.
I
Go ahead.
said Marlins
didn't
team
say
total
that.
under, dude.
No. Last night you were all up in the Mets. It was going to be a destroying.
It was
blah,
late.
blah, blah,
I
blah,
get
blah.
carried away.
Okay,
Lindy,
thank
what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm curious because the Miami lineup is terrible. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. They have speed. Obviously, Xavier Edwards, Otto Lopez, this Wagaman character that has my surname, Derek Hill, is fast as fuck. Like, all of these guys from Miami can run, but I think they're going to get enough contact here against David Peterson, sub 20% K rate. I'm confused why his K prop's at 4.5, slightly juiced towards the under at minus 115 on DK. I just don't see David Peterson being some strikeout arm here. You're heading into, it's one of the more pitcher-friendly parks that you have in baseball. But at the same time, while Miami's lineup isn't all that imposing, they did a pretty good job of like limiting some of the strikeout arms on the Pittsburgh side. I don't know if we're going to see like Javier Sonoya. Not really a lot of strikeouts at AAA. Graham Pauley. I'm just kind of working through all of these individual batters. Where does David Peterson find 5 strikeouts? Also, you work through some like of his arsenal. Like, there's nothing that I think is going to really be all that imposing here. 25.6% whiff percentage. Why is he at 4.5? I get it. There's like interest in his fastball, but he's got one of the worst breaking arsenals in all of baseball. 4.59 expected ERA, one of the largest disparities between that and his actual ERA, which was 2.90 last year. So while he found success, it was a lot of smoke and mirrors, and he's definitely not by way of strikeouts, which went way down from 26% to around 19.8% last year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like under 4.5 strikeouts, just a little bit too straightforward here.
What about Toast?
It's Miami or pass for me. The only reason that I can't back Miami, not that it really matters, their bullpen's terrible anyway, but they're taxed. Foucher and Bender back-to-back days as well. So I just feel like this number is extremely high for a Mets team that really hasn't shown us anything yet. I'm sure that they will come around, but you'll still have a bottom of the lineup with Terrence, Beatty, Acuna Jr., or Acuna, and Siri that just really, it's just kind of like boom or bust for me. So it's only Miami pass. I'm not laying this price with the Mets in this spot.
No.
Next, and
or David Peterson.
I think this price might have moved into a bettable range here. We were talking, Lindy, we were talking about it last night, how the Pirates entering that series against the Marlins, in my opinion, they came into the season extremely overvalued and overpriced. I think because they just lost a few games to the Fish, they went from overvalued and overpriced to actually undervalued and underpriced in the drop of a hat. We're talking 4 games into the season. Yep. Now we're pricing the Pirates out like the worst team in the NL. Plus 165 to the Rays. I feel like you play on the Pirates here.
I mean, let's not forget the what is it? The Rays were just losing games at home to the Rockies. I mean, that's an abomination.
That was the whole thing about the Royals today with Bubic. It's like, why are they the dog? Like, why? Like, there's some prices. It's just, I would be on the Pittsburgh side if I were playing a side of it, but I've got the over of 8. Obviously, not the best number to be laying an over towards because, you're looking 7, 9. The 8.5 is pretty irrelevant in terms of distribution and looking at what we are getting for these specific numbers. But 8 minus 120, minus 114. Okay, at FanDuel, that's still very, very good here. Steinbrenner Field is interesting to me. It's not going to play like Bandbox New York, like the Yankee Stadium. It's kind of a combo of the two stadiums, is the way that it's described. But I mean, I watched a lot of the games this weekend trying to get an idea of this ballpark. Super narrow, like there's no room, like left or right of the first and third baselines. I mean, there's just nothing left as far as like room there. It's all right in front of you, and I think homers are going to play up. You're also looking at 80 plus degrees from now until the end of time. When we get to summer, between this and Sacramento, with the we'll talk about that ballpark as well, but maybe it's just like the new ballparks. I still think they're a little bit undervalued. These are AAA ballparks, and as opposed to the PCL, where we'll get to with Oakland and Chicago, I do think that this is one of those spots where you just kind of want to be not blindly backing overs, but I don't really like Pittsburgh's bullpen. I really don't like that they didn't have Bubba Chandler up here as their 5th starter right from the get-go. I mean, this guy is just dog shit that I'm looking through. This Mlodzinski guy, I really don't like it. 4.18 xFIP, no real strikeout arsenal, nothing at AAA. 5 starts last season, or 40 games that he appeared, 4 starts last season. Carmen Mlodzinski, good luck to you against Tampa's lineup. And then on the flip side, Drew Rasmussen, I mean, he is all smoke and mirrors. This guy is very, very targetable as a starter. He's had good stints as a reliever at times in the major leagues, but that sample size, you basically have it be so loud. And I think he's going to just be extremely targetable. The 219 xWOBA, 193 expected batting average from last season. Like, don't read anything into it because it was in such a limited amount of actual starts. He had 4 total. He was a great bullpen arm. That changes completely when you start to change it out here. I don't like Pittsburgh's lineup by any means, but I think the ballpark, game environment, Pittsburgh side, everything looks good for the over.
Over 8. And Lindy, before I forget, the team total page for MLB isn't up yet. I feel lost without that page.
Okay. On Odd Chopper?
Yeah, on Odd Chopper is the only site that has a team total shopper page, and I didn't realize how reliant I was on that page until I didn't have it. I was like,
I'll send a note.
It works. All the other sports are up, but MLB, the team total page isn't up.
Okay. I'll send a note.
Toast.
I don't mind the over either. It'd be Pittsburgh or pass. I actually might tail you on that.
Let's
over.
go. On the over? I thought you were going to tell me.
Oh,
I mean, we can play. I might just play both. I mean, honestly, just especially with Fairbanks going 2 of the last 3 days. You said it, or Ukeda, however you say his name, went yesterday as well. And the Pittsburgh bullpen is absolutely just dog shit in the first place. And they're one of the most taxed bullpens in the league. Bednar, Holderman, Ferguson, all have worked 3 of the last 4 days. Lawrence back-to-back days as well. The only guy that's even a top 5 arm in that bullpen that hasn't worked back-to-back days is Santana. So, it would be definitely over in Pittsburgh for me. But again, I'm probably not going to play Pittsburgh.
All right.
Because of the bullpen.
I might play Pittsburgh. Next up, Nats, Blue Jays. Lindy, we had a discussion last night.
Thank you, God. Woo!
What just happened?
Hit my Baltimore team total. These
What?
cocksuckers had 4 in the first inning, and then they've been dicking around, but then they finally hit it for me. So
There you
all
go.
is good now.
a lot of gay talk. Are you a hater?
Well, no,
Love is love.
His spirits are
Toast.
down
Come on
because
now.
his guy
Grow
Chris
up.
because his spirits are down because his guy Chris Paddock got rocked today.
My guy Chris Paddock always comes through for me, and whenever I need him to. So you just have to know when you have the key to unlock and lock the padlock. It was clearly unlocked.
I don't know. I bet the Rockies. I'm just doing my thing over here. Go Rockies. Hunter Goodman homer.
I had
that.
Phillies team total over 4.5. That was an awesome bet by me.
Yep, awesome job, you loser.
Lindy, what kind of expectations do you have for Bowden Francis this year?
High expectations.
A lot of
for
people
Bowden
like him.
Francis.
Oh my God.
Yeah, love.
Toast is
I,
one
I
of them.
think he's fantastic. Over 4.5 strikeouts is the play for this one. So Bowden Francis, for those who aren't aware, he really turned on the Jets at the end of last season. But can I take it back even further to his reliever stints in 2023? 0.83 WHIP, 1.73 ERA.
40% hard hit percentage.
This guy. He was always good. It was just trying to figure out how it worked for him once you got him into the starting role. And there was a learning process there. Second half of the season, absolutely electric stuff. Like if Tariq Skubal didn't exist, there would have been a conversation that Bowden Francis moved his way into for the AL Cy Young. Like he was that good at the tail end of last season. And I think it's pretty clear, you go through these stints, and even happened with Michael King. It's going to happen with Clay Holmes. I'm still pretty convinced of that. But you go from a reliever to being a built-out starter, and you have to change certain things. One, you can't go balls to the wall every single time. So your arsenal is diminished, even if it's just 5%, 10%. You take a mile and a half miles per hour off of the fastball, off of some of the breaking movements. You're going to go through an adjustment period being a built-out starter. The other part of it, too, is that when you're closing out a baseball game and you're giving your best to everything, you don't always face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the lineup. Sometimes you're coming into the heart of it, sometimes the tail end, and it's going to make your numbers look better than what you are. So that being said, Bowden Francis turned it on in the second half of last season once they just kind of unleashed him there. 3.39 expected ERA, 22.5% K rate. I think that's going to be a little bit more in line with where he's at, but a really good spring as well. I don't know if I've liked a Blue Jay arm this much. Robbie Ray was, I would say a colossal disappointment for a Blue Jay fan, but, still was somebody that, still had the strikeout stuff. But there's not anybody that I've really liked in a Blue Jays uniform as a starting pitcher as much as Bowden Francis that I can ever remember.
I know Toast is about to disagree with you because I saw it in his face
at times, but no.
I know Toast is about to disagree with you because I saw it in his face and he just took a long swig of his Mountain Dew.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
First and foremost, I'm just not there with Mr. Francis myself. The hard hit percentage is pretty high for me. And let's just take a look just really quickly what he did last year once he became a starter.
36.2% is high.
Yo, it was in 40. It was over 40 last year, the year before that too. Yo, I'm not. Yo, if you want to keep on backing this clown, go ahead. I'm just telling you that he put up a whole bunch of he put up a whole bunch of really good starts against really bad offenses last year. That's all I'm going to say. And to be honest with you, I mean, it's just, I just want to see it. I'm not saying that this guy doesn't have talent, but it's almost like people remember that game against the Mets when he ended up giving it up to Lindor and act like this is like the only pitcher he's ever been for a while. I'm just not there yet with Mr. Francis. So I'm on Nats team total over 3.5. Nats on the money line for me as well. This price is absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. So I think the Nats played really well in their last series, and I think that the Toronto is overpriced as hell. Again, is Bowden Francis good or not? We're not going to find out today whether he pitches well or not, but I'm just saying that I think this is absolutely getting ridiculous.
I think the way to go would be Toronto team total over 4.5. We're not going to talk about Soroka. No one. That whole thing was up Bowden Francis. We're not going to talk about Soroka up in Canada. About to get rocked. I'm not betting this game though. Next.
You're mean, Toast.
I'm not.
He goes, you want to keep backing this clown? You go right ahead.
Yo.
Keep backing as if I backed him in the last 6 months.
I'll give you a quick
You fucking
apology.
psycho. Okay.
Small apology. I just hear a lot of Bowden Francis talk. It's all this guy like he's some like the next to King. And I also really irritated me that you used Michael King as a comparator because they're not.
Here's a Snicker.
They're not
Here's a
comparable at all.
Snickers. You get hangry. You monster.
Yo, they're not.
I don't think Lindy's ever given out a Bowden Francis prop in the show ever. He gives out one. Toast goes, you want to keep backing this clown?
I can actually tell you if I have ever bet Bowden Francis on anything in my entire life in like 1 minute. I will tell you.
You want to keep backing this clown? You go right ahead.
Yo, I am so sick and tired of hearing about Bowden Francis. Like, unbelievable.
I have 0 bets of Bowden Francis in my life.
Well.
0.
Well, now you have one too many. You have one too many now.
1-0, bitch.
It sounded like you're about to have a lot this year.
About to be 1-0. You know what you can do?
Speaking of things I'm sick of, I'm already over the St. Louis Cardinals. I've had enough.
Cards.
Yeah. Line move. You see this line move though?
Yeah, everyone's betting the Cardinals. Now people have fooled themselves into thinking the Cardinals are going to be a good team this year. Angels up. I might bet this. This is crazy. The Cardinals are not going to be a good team. We're letting one series against, sorry, Lindy, a very disappointing Twins organization fool us into thinking St. Louis is going to be a good team. The Cardinals are a bottom half NL team. Bottom half. Look, is Tyler Anderson going to be like a top tier lefty again this year? I would say most likely not. But you know who else might really be unreliable this year? Miles Michaelis. I think this price is crazy. I think this price is absolutely crazy. I would probably have this Cards minus 122. This is nuts, this price. So I might play on the Angels here. Lindy, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. I'm on the Angels. I
was on
disgusting teams. Oh yeah, I already bet it. Yeah, I bet it last night. Plus 115. It's actually gotten wider now, so you're getting a better number than I got.
I'm betting it
Always
now.
talk about the line movement. Plus 128. It's just it's silliness to me. So Tyler Anderson, there's no doubt that he has massive blemishes. You work through some of his advanced numbers. It's not pretty. 4.66 FIP last season. Held batters to a 231 average, but 1.29 whip that came along with it. 258 BABIP is not sustainable. There is negative regression in store for him, but let's talk about Miles Michaelis because this might be the worst contract in baseball. Is this the worst contract in baseball? Anthony Rendon and then maybe him?
Well, yeah. Go ahead. That's fine. Yeah. As long as you said Rendon, I was good.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anybody else that's more targetable in baseball right now. Like the fact that this guy right now is pulling this kind of a number is asinine to me. 42.3% hard hit, only a 16.4% whiff percentage, 4.65 expected ERA, horrible splits, awful breaking value. Like I don't understand. His stuff plus is like basically negative. Like he's awful across the board. This is a terrible number, and it's an Angels team that I don't think anybody expects to be good. I mean, you win 2 of 3 against the White Sox. Congratulations. Not that my Twins are going to be able to do that here over their 3-game set. Go fuck myself. But I very much like the Angels in this spot. Plus 129 is an asinine number. again, it sucks. I already bet it because you can kind of tell, like, oh, you should probably wait a little bit later in the day. And this was a nice reminder to myself to do that. But wanted to bet it. Make sure I had a ticket for it for the people, plus 115. Happy to be firing up plus 128 for sure.
Yeah, I don't understand the line movement, though. And I'm looking, and it looks like some of the sharper books have it even harder towards the Cardinals. So it seems like the quote-unquote sharp action is coming in on the St. Louis side. I mean, I'm looking at it right here. I mean, Pinnacle has this one at minus 149 for the Cardinals. Circa has minus 152. So the sharper books, or the books we perceive to be sharper, are actually heavier on the Cardinals. So looks like the quote-unquote professional bettors are on St. Louis here. Fuck them, Angels up. Toast?
You.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't play St. Louis at this price. So you can put the Angels up for me. I think if you were to bet, I think Trevor got a really good price with minus 135 with them. My issue that I can't get to the Angels with is who's closing the game, who's pitching the last 2-3 innings in this game. So that's just kind of where
They're
I'm
going to be up
at
6 runs at the time.
I hope so, because Jansen's back-to-back days and Ben Joyce's went back-to-back days, and Brock Burke went 16. So
Don't care.
Yeah, I'm just saying that at some point you have to take that into consideration.
Maybe
so,
Angels first
Ben
5.
Joyce only throws at 104. It doesn't matter.
Right? Yeah, Joyce is not good at all. You're right.
Next up.
And Jansen's not a Hall of Famer. So
Next up is Giants, Astros, and Toast is going to give a really long soliloquy about how Jordan Hicks belongs in the bullpen. It's pretty biased against Jordan Hicks. His Padres fanhood comes out pretty heavy when he talks about Jordan Hicks. Astros is a super square play here.
Giants.
I don't know if I could do it. So go ahead, Toast. Talk shit about Jordan Hicks and take the Astros money line.
Astros first 5 for me. I know that the Astros bullpen is perceived to be decent, but I just don't trust them personally. I'm not a big Josh Hader fan, but regardless, until I see Jordan Hicks pitch well, I'm going to be fading him as much as possible. I will give you that I don't really love this Houston team versus right-handed pitching at all, but at the same time, I don't really like the fact that you have San Francisco coming out of Great America Ballpark, now traveling here to Houston, not to mention, like I said, Bronco is one of these guys that I trust. If it would be different if last year was like a flash in the pan where it was like 6 or 7 starts. But I mean, he almost threw 170 innings. I mean, this guy was essentially dominant for most parts of the year. So I just feel like we have a huge advantage with Houston not having to travel either as well. So Houston in the first 5. Like I said, I just don't want to get involved with the bullpens.
I think it's if you are a contrarian, this is like an ultimate Giant spot because
Firmly
everyone.
agree, Kyle.
What?
Firmly agree with you, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm betting the Giants. I'm not saying you should bet the Giants. I'm just saying if you are a contrarian and a quote-unquote fade the public type of person, the Giants are your wet dream here.
Let me add something. Ronel Blanco, if you look at the numbers last year, you look at the surface numbers, then you look at the expected numbers and everything like that. That dude's a fucking fraudster. He's absolutely ass. Every single start last year I watched and I said that this guy reeks of negative regression. And now you got Jordan Hicks, who, yes, against lefties, he's a nightmare. I would not want to back that guy 1 second, but you're going to get him against an Astros lineup that, starting 7 or 8 righties? The back half of that lineup's absolutely dreadful, and they're not really that good against righties. I feel like the price is begging you to take the Astros as well. I think the Giants are the side here. I might even throw some action on the Giants.
Lindy, what do you think of a Giant contrarian play?
I don't mind it. I just would want better than you're getting at the moment. Is it that wide of a number, plus 105? I don't know. I do think what Prop Beaver was saying is the first good point I've ever heard from Prop Beaver. So there's negative regression coming for Mr. Ronel Blanco, definitely. But is he bad? I don't think so. I mean, he's got decent run value. He's got identical barrel percentages to Jordan Hicks. I mean, you could basically tick for tat, swap in certain numbers for the two of them. They both have extremely high walk rates, right around 10%. I mean, this could just come down to high variance early season MLB, and I would want better than a coin flip for the road team here in this spot. So give me plus 115 or better. I would be on the San Francisco side, but I leaned San Francisco last night, hasn't changed.
All right. I was not expecting that. I like that. A fade the world type of moment here. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm leaning your direction. I just
I'm surprised that you were leaning towards San Francisco. I don't think anyone is. Now this next one, Lindy, me and Toast talked last night. We're buyers. The question is, what about you? Are you buying or selling the Jackson Jobe hype?
Yeah, buying it. Buying is the answer. I wanted to get a better price. Where's the first 5 at now? This is the thing that went by the wayside when you have 22 games to break down night before. It was plus 105 last night. Where is it right now?
Still same number because I played them on the money line personally.
First 5 or full game, Toast?
Huh?
First 5 or full game?
First 5 is minus 105 now.
Okay.
Full game is still, you can get plus 100 on most books.
Yeah, I'm probably going to pass for now, but I love the kid. I think Jackson Jobe's really good. He has a changeup that is going to be the make or break pitch because the 4-seamer is just already, it plays live. It's going to be really, really good. The cutter is, I mean, it's okay. Like, I look at Jackson Jobe as like a really, like, it's a Detroit team that's had these kind of guys come through, but this guy, number 5 in pipeline, number 1 on the Tigers organization, as he should be. Last year, you saw him one time out, basically. Like, they brought him in the playoffs. Like, that was an insane decision. That should tell you their confidence level in him as well. Like, he was basically a rookie out there in the playoff situations, high leverage situations at that against Houston. Like, Jackson Jobe has that kind of stuff. That's why he's a top 3 pick. And it's, for me, just such a live fastball right from the get-go, 97, 98. I think he's going to be awesome. And this is the best ballpark you could possibly get dropped into for your debut. So I think Jackson Jobe is the side. Detroit is the side. I just haven't bet it yet because I wanted a better number.
You can give Detroit to me, and I'm a little. We're polling over 70% to 16%. So as far as the people watching right now, heavy Detroit. Wow. But I mean, I would imagine most of the people that watch this show tend to follow baseball closely. I would think a casual baseball fan like Jackson Jobe, who is that? Like, I don't know, maybe not though. Let's go on to the next one.
Did you play it, Toast?
Yeah.
You were saying you like Jobe. You did play it already?
Yeah, I played them on the money line. I really like Emerson Hancock. I firmly believe that if he wasn't going back and forth, he would probably be a 3 or 4 on most other teams, not named Seattle, because of their starters. But I also really like what I've seen from Detroit in those games against the Dodgers as well. And I also think they have a little bit of a bullpen advantage with how much Seattle had to use guys yesterday as well, too.
Emerson Hancock has nothing that interests me. Like, what pitch is a plus pitch in his arsenal?
Yo, I'm not going to deal with this with you right now. This is too early. I'm not doing this. If I wanted to know, I didn't know that I was going to have to bring out my detailed notes. But I'm
just saying, like, I just worked through him. Okay, so I mean, for me, I have notes on him from last year. Sinker, one of the worst pitches in baseball. Changeup, decent. Slider, the wipeout pitch. He's throwing that a majority of the time to righties. And then the other note that I had was bet him every single time. Bet homers against him. 24-degree average launch angle, 4-seamer, throwing it 34% of the time. He gets behind and counts. He's giving up batters 360 at a 1-2-2-2 count. So that is, or sorry, the inverse of that. 2-1. I wrote that down wrong. 2-1-2-2 count. No, that can't be right. I put that incorrectly.
You've already lost
anyway,
every single person in here. So.
Sinker, awful pitch. Terrible. Terrible. Anyway, continue on.
So that was awesome. I'm still worried about Emerson Hancock now. It's not even funny.
So
Schwarber seriously just hit a homer.
It's a 3-run homer, right? It's 4-1 Phillies.
I need 5.
Fuck.
God damn it.
That's a good thing, Toast.
No, it's not a good thing because it's got to be in what, the 8th inning now?
Bottom
7th
7. Bottom 7.
Yeah, I need
bottom
one
7.
more.
We got some time, maybe.
All right.
Damn it.
Next one, another buying or selling question for Lindy because Toast is buying.
Yes, please. I want to hear all the launch angles and all the extended bullshit. Is Randy Vasquez and Nick Pivetta here to stay or not? I want you on the record right now.
I wasn't going to phrase it like that, but go ahead, Lindy.
Pull up your notes.
Don't make him get his detailed notes, Lindy.
I'm just saying, I don't want to have to open up these folders, but I usually don't.
Why are you yelling?
because
I was pushing back. He was celebrating. He was like, "What's up, Dodgers?" Like, dude, it's 4 games into the season. He's a scorned Padres fan, and he doesn't get many moments. This is one of them.
That's not how it happened, Lindy.
Yeah, you remember last time that they started singing stupid songs like 55-year-old losers? Just, Manny gonna be in da-ba-da-ba-doo. That's what's sin. Wasn't that the stupid song?
You're deflecting.
I think Randy Vasquez, smoke and mirrors. I think Nick Pivetta is very good.
Thank you. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Nobody believes in Randy. Didn't expect that, but we all know that Nick Pivetta is an absolute dog. Watch out.
Nick Pivetta is good. It's going to be a good situation for him. So there's that. How does that apply to Kyle Hart? What are we doing here?
Over 3.5 strikeouts.
Okay, I'm on that. I like that.
Really?
Okay, cool.
So, with you. Yeah.
I can't believe that just happened.
You guys are on Kyle Hart over 3.5 strikeouts?
I actually bet it too. I didn't even know that Lindy was on it, but yes, I did bet that, and I don't even bet strikeouts.
Yeah. So I've got. I mean, there's a couple of like Pick'em strikeout cards that I have that I'll be posting in about 20 minutes for premium people over in the old Discord, and yeah, he's a part of just about every single one. Peterson under 4.5. I like Hart over 3.5. I like Bowden Francis over 4.5. We talked about as well. I think there's actually some really, really good value out there in the K-prop department today, and Hart. I don't like him per se, but 3.5 is a really auspiciously low number. You go through his arsenal, and we have very limited sample size for him for the most part, but I think the slider is like legitimately a good pitch. He's throwing that 35% of the time, and obviously if you're throwing a slider that percentage of the time, it better be good, but you're getting that into the zone, 35% whiff percentage. If it gets hit up, it gets hit up, but like I think he's going to get a lot of swing and miss with primary pitches. And when you get that, it's hard to get away from 3.5. What was his last, yesterday I had his AAA. What was his last AAA, or not AAA, spring training start? Because I was surprised that he won the job right from the get-go, but they like him. He got up to,
good. I don't think his spring training starts were very good.
4 2/3. So yeah, he got up to 78. So yeah, Kyle Hart, he was a Boston guy once upon a time, and 3.5's a low number. I just don't get it.
We could just go to the next one. I was leaning towards Cleveland at the price.
Oh, I can say, as far as this game is concerned, do you know, Lindy, have you heard, are we going to get J-Ram in the lineup for Cleveland tonight?
I don't think so. I don't think we are, but I mean, he had just gotten removed early and it was cautionary to some extent, but it's just going to be a pain thing. I mean, it hit him. Yeah. He's negative on the X-ray, so we'll see what they end up doing, but I do think because it's so early in the season, he's more likely to sit than play if you're like making me pick right now. But from the sounds of it, it's just going to be a pain tolerance thing. And I don't think when you travel, you necessarily have BP that day. So we'll see. Won't know for a while.
I was just going to say, as far as the side of the game, I do lean Cleveland just a little bit. I know that the Padres bullpen has looked really good, but they've also been used up a lot. The issue is they did use Clase, and Gaddis has been 3 of the last 4 days as well. So, and then you can't really trust Paul Sewald at this point. So at that point, it's just really hard for me to get to Cleveland, but I do lean Cleveland as well.
Do we have a Manzardo graphic in here? Who's that for?
Oh, me. I have Kyle Manzardo for a hit.
He's one of my fantasy keepers.
Kyle Manzardo. He is so tall and strong and large. He is he's a tall drink of water, that Kyle Manzardo. Cole Anthony ruled out. That's surprising.
I don't even know if that hurts the Magic.
That literally helps the Magic.
Yeah, it probably helps him, honestly. Next up.
Yeah, Corey Joseph is just so much better.
I mean,
this is the fake sharp play of the day. Oakland plus 120. Every single fake sharp in the world is going to be on Oakland. Lindy, are you on Oakland? That was my segue.
I'm on the over. On the over. I kind of alluded to it earlier. A little bit cooler up in Sacramento for this debut. We're going to be seeing this stadium for the first time. Don't go crazy for it. I don't have an unbelievable amount of conviction, but I do think that this is going to have, it's going to have a lot of real estate up there for a AAA ballpark. Amongst all of the PCL parks, it has the fewest runs, but the PCL is basically on steroids. I've talked about this league forever and ever and ever, going back like 10 years, because I just don't think it's indicative of what a major league ball player is going to be. Pitchers are never going to succeed. Their hitters play on the moon in Albuquerque, in Reno, in all these places that are 5,000, 6,000 feet above sea level. It is unfair to them. But Sacramento, that's going to be your flattest situation. And it is, again, it's 9.5 runs per game on average there that you're running into in AAA. Now, there's obviously the huge shift, which is what happens when you get major league quality pitchers out there. Ben Brown, I don't really think that he's somebody that I'm that worried about here on this side, but I'm especially looking at Estes. And I like the A's a lot. I have them 30-1 to win the AL West. I thought that they were a really sneaky team to be invested in because we don't know what to expect out of this park. There's no data outside of AAA, and we'll start accumulating it here. But Joey Estes is definitely the weakest starter that they have. I love Jeffrey Springs there. I think Severino has really learned to pitch in his later years. Maybe that was the Mets just figuring it out there, as Toast was talking about earlier too, Luis Severino. But I think the over is just going to get obliterated more times than not early on. And I think you want to be early to the party to some extent. Maybe I'm just way off with it, but I do think major league hitters are really going to succeed at this ballpark relative to what you had in AAA. I think the pitchers probably found more success there, maybe a breath of fresh air to PCL pitchers not getting obliterated, being able to actually go 4 strikeouts and not get again, you go to Reno, you go to these other parks, people always think, oh, it's because of the thin air. And it is because of the thin air, but it's more so that the balls don't break nearly as much. And now you're going to get these kind of ballparks where it's a little bit more muted, Sacramento specifically amongst that league. But sorry, Mom, I don't want to talk to you. Over 8.5, I like it.
Toast, did you end up pulling the trigger on the Cubs?
No, I really want to though, because I do agree with you that there's probably a lot of people thinking that, oh, the first game in Oakland, they got to win, yada, yada, yada. But I wish I could get to Oakland. I've been trying to back them as much as possible lately, but I just can't do it with Joey Estes. And I actually think that Ben Brown actually showed us something at the end of the year last year. I'm really curious to see what he shows us going in or at the start of this year as well. And neither team really has any bullpen issues as far as usage is concerned. So yeah, it's an a pass for me. I like Alindy alluded to, I really want to see how this ballpark plays. This one and the one in Tampa really have to pay attention to at least the first full month of this season.
Next up, last game. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get the Atlanta Braves at plus 203.
Suck it, Atlanta!
Yeah, put the Braves up for me. That's the only side I'd be on. Lindy, have we gone too far here with this price?
Probably not.
What? Well, you guys don't think the Braves suck now? One series, the Braves suck.
I didn't say that they suck.
Question.
I'm way down on the Braves
before you
this
answer,
year.
question for both of you. What would this price have been 4 days ago?
Doesn't matter because I would have thought it was broken then too, because I just don't think the Braves are very good. I think the two best teams in the NL are the Dodgers and the Padres, and I don't think it's close, really.
So then on this show,
what about the team that went to the NLCS last year?
Don't care. I really don't. Is Spencer Strider out there today? Is like what are we doing? We're getting Grant Holmes against Tyler Glass now, and we're feeling somewhat confident here. How do we feel?
I'm on your side, plus 203.
I'm on your side.
I'm not feeling confident the Braves are going to win the game. I'm feeling confident that the Braves at plus 203 is a positive EV bet.
I don't. I am either going to be run line or pass. It's going to be Dodgers run line. Saturday, I mean, I don't have early MLB conviction plays because I just don't think that you can accurately do it. The last couple Aprils, I've talked about this multiple times. I mean, I track everything pretty pristinely, and I'm doing all of my tracking, throwing it out there for the people on the Lindy Show at the beginning of every single Sunday night now when I'm recording, just because I want you to be able to see forward facing how I'm doing. And it's a little bit discouraging that some people are like, oh, you're only up, in the last 3 weeks, you're only up 5 units in NBA. It's like, well, stop it. Just shut up. But anyway, my main thing is that when you start pricing, you start having conviction too early in the MLB season. What happens is you get proven wrong a lot because new baseballs, new pitching staffs, new lineup orders, new hitting environments, because you go from most teams being done in September to last time you saw them when it's heated up when things don't necessarily matter. You're not in as high leverage of situations. And then you're coming out cold turkey here. It is cooler around the entire country. Obviously, even places like Sacramento, when it's going to be 85 degrees there, 90 degrees at first pitch, it's going to play completely different than today at 60 degrees first pitch, even though I still like that over. I look at the Dodgers as just kind of being immune to just about everything because of the bullpen. This is a Dodger bullpen last year that we saw come playoff time. They just continue to be able to just pick the right matchups. They have all of the right pieces. They have spent infinite amounts of money to set themselves up in a place for success under any circumstances. They could have 4 or 5 different guys close. Tyler Glasnow could get hit up through 3 and you're still very, very live with those tickets. It's just a tough team to be betting against. I mean, I believe they've covered the run line in 4 of their first 5 that they had, or 4 of their first 6 for sure. I think it was actually 5 of 6 through because they played 3 games. Yeah, so 4 of their 5. They had the one game. They ended up winning by 1, but they had the Mookie Betts bailout home run, I suppose, on 1 run line. But Saturday was just so clear cut to me. When you get a weaker starter, Grant Holmes, you should just be looking at the Dodgers run line because they can run it up so quick and then play to. I mean, it's like an NBA team that's just like winding down the shot clock at the end of the game where they can just kind of like play to the score. They can kind of do whatever that they need to do. And then they got more pop than anybody in baseball from both sides. So it's run line or pass.
I think Toast agrees with you.
Yeah, 100% agree. And if there is one thing that we do know about Tyler Glasnow, he's been extremely dominant in the first couple months of the season. Usually that's when he's only able to be healthy as well. But you have Glasnow with that Dodgers bullpen that had a day off and rested behind him. I still firmly believe that they're going to have issues if they have Tanner Scott being their closer. He's a 7th or 8th inning guy. I truly believe that, but that's here nor there today. But yeah, I just don't. Again, the Braves lineup is just absolutely terrible right now, and I don't have a hard time believing it gets better against Glasnow in this bullpen. So,
all right, clear the board, Lindy. For those people watching who have never seen you before, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, you can head to the Odd Chopper YouTube channel. Obviously, MLB season just getting underway. So excited to have it here. Had a blast hanging out with Kyle and Toast throughout the MLB season, the second half of the MLB season last year. Looking forward to doing it throughout the entire season this year. If you guys head to Odd Chopper, check out Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. I cover NBA, MLB, NFL when that comes back around, but put everything into one video, which is kind of insane. It's a lot of work night before. So if you guys just head over there, hit that like button, tracking everything for the people, have the premium Discord you can sign up for. It's like $5 right now. I want anybody that wants to be able to jump in to be able to afford to come hang out, be in there with some other sharp people. I have a couple hundred people there talking baseball all day long right now as the MLB starting out. It's great to be back. Great to be live. And thanks for having me, Kyle.
Yeah, and if anyone is into DFS, they have a real good DFS community over there. Greg Ehrenberg's smart guy, funny guy. So yeah, a good group of people. Sometimes. All right, so Proppy, Lindy, Toast, you guys have a good night. For those of you who want to stick around, Proppy was going to share an UnderDog Pick'em.
Yeah, so I put together this little 2-piece. I took what Lindy was saying about Seager, and I took his higher in fantasy points. And then I like the matchup for Hicks today. I know he's on the road where he's a bit shaky, so that does kind of suck. But he's going to face a bunch of righties, and like I said, I just don't trust his Astros lineup against a right-handed pitcher, especially with the bottom half of that order. So taking Jordan Hicks lower than 4.5 hits allowed. I think he get in trouble with those walks as well, especially the top half of that order. So those are 2-pick pick'em. The underdog promo of the day, not baseball related, even though it says Bobby Witt Jr. Rather, it is Luka Doncic over a half total point. So if you're not an underdog customer and would like to become one, you can use that free pick, replace one of the legs, add a leg. Up to you. And again, if you're not a customer, you can join Underdog in the map that I have lost. And
I think that map's not updated anyway.
Okay.
But if you're not an Underdog fantasy customer and you want to sign up, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you up to $1,000 in deposit bonus match. So you deposit $1,000, you can get up to $1,000. I think it's a 50% match. Mm-hmm. So if you deposit $2,000, they'll give you a free $1,000 to play with. That's what the promo code BET. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be back at midnight for the midnight show. That midnight show, are you guys seeing? I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the views. Midnight show's doing like 13,000 views a night now with me, Toast, and Trevor. So the midnight show, there's like 600-700 people in there at 1 a.m. talking baseball. That was a unexpected. That midnight show grew fast. So we'll be back at midnight, as always, doing the midnight stream for those of you who want to join. Yeah. Let's have ourselves a good one. Bet responsibly. Hit me up in the Discord if you need me. New league starting tonight. It was supposed to be last night, but I needed to add something. So the new league starting tonight. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Talk to you guys later.